I just I don't I don't I I just no I
It's
don't.
like if we look at the specific example of Arkham Knight, assuming that the Batgirl prequel story and like Gotham City stories and all those things are sort of they all turn out to be good.
Mhm.
We can look at it right now and say, hey, they knew about all these things that they were going to make, and yet they're not included with the base game. So it's you can
Mm,
see it from both lights that way. Like you can see it as, oh, they planned it, but they didn't include it with the base game, which means that we're paying extra for stuff that they took out of the game.
I
Or you can look at it as saying, as the way that they want us to see it, as it is extra stuff.
I don't know. This is a loaded question. So it's like,
Or I
I,
guess, the easier example is like just maps in multiplayer games. It's like they planned to make 20 more maps. Like, why didn't they just include those with the base game?
I, I mean that, but that is the question. Like, why? Like, I think that's kind of the whole point of the question. It's like,
Yeah,
where
but then, that's the thing. Like there's the reality of time and the
third game? I mean,
when people talk about wanting everything in the base game, like what is everything? It's like where's the line between everything and extra? They could sit there and make those 20 maps and then release the game a year later,
mhm. I mean,
but
I would.
then you're getting the game a year later.
Well, I mean, at the same time, well, for those of us who are used to waiting for games, it's not really like an issue for me. But I think, like, I guess for like annual games that are like become annualized, like the Assassin's Creed games or Call of Duty games and stuff like that, it's like I guess some people would have a problem with that if they did like say they were delaying the game so they could like put everything or quote unquote everything in it kind of thing. I mean, I guess that would maybe make some people angry, but at the same time, though, I feel like in situations like that, maybe it would be okay if they did that because it's
Really
like
hard.
it's like
Because
I don't.
you can almost see it like with franchises, like say Assassin's Creed. They're making Assassin's Creed 1, and then they decide, oh, you know what? It would be cool if like Desmond wakes up and then he escapes the place, and then he goes in and he's another character from his past, and then it goes through that guy's whole life, and then he dies, and then there's another character that goes through and we can put this all in one game. And so like
Well, they
you
probably
know
just couldn't all that.
7 years
In
later,
that case, though, maybe.
finally they release Assassin's Creed, and it would just be all of those stories. Like it would
Well, I mean,
be in
it's
our universe one through whatever the
well, I
last
mean
one.
that I mean that's what they did though. They just actually split it up between games. But I mean, it just I think the problem is it's like once I don't know it. I don't know. I just it's hard to it's like really hard to like do this. It's like why? But I don't know. It's just a double edged sword. Is how that is. I think this whole industry is a double edged sword. But because there's just at the end of the day, it's just like you're never going to be able to make both sides happy, and there's always going to be something where it's like, well, they could have did this, and it's like, well, now the developers are going to get like their backlash from people either a wanting their game sooner and wanting you to already have all quote unquote all the content in it, and then at the same time they'll be mad if they don't get it sooner, and then they're like, but now you're getting this complete game, we're trying to make sure it gets to you all bug free and full of content and all this stuff. We're like, yeah, I don't care about that, I kind of wanted it now. And then it's just like, so it's like either
No,
way.
give us 5 years.
So it's like either way, it's kind of like I don't know, it's just lose lose for everybody because no one can be happy, and no matter what you do, it's just gonna be just that situation, unfortunately. So I don't know. It's just
All
that's
right,
just
so I guess to wrap it up, like, assuming that season passes are here to stay,
They are.
There.
what do you think
There's
can
assumption. They are.
what do you think can be done to make them better? Like not in
Not
terms of like
announcing them
content and
before
stuff.
the
I
game
was about to
therefore
say,
is
don't
out.
Don't announce them before the game comes out.
Just don't announce them until you decide to release your first part of the DLC or something, and then at least make it seem like, okay, they might have a plan with this because like they're releasing it alongside their DLC, which means obviously they have a plan. So obviously there's going to be more. I mean, even if there's not going to be, and you're just pretty much like hooking people onto this, it's like at least that way it kind of feels like it is. So if I'm being lied to, at least it's a good lie, and it's not like one of those where it's like, no, we're totally gonna release stuff. Just trust us. Buy our season pass now. It's totally cool. And then it's like it's a watchdog situation or something where it's just like our game didn't do so well. We should probably.
Didn't that happen with Unity? Like, the game was so
That's
bugged.
good Unity, yeah.
They're like, oh.
They
well.
canceled the season pass.
Yeah. So I think maybe they should just like wait, or either do it like just do like the expansion pack thing, and then because I mean at least in Destiny's defense, even though they did announce it before or whatever, it's like they announced both of the things that were coming into your season pass, so you knew. I mean, you just didn't know when, but you knew what was coming, and it's like you knew you were getting
sort of. You knew their titles.
Well, you know what I mean. It's like as opposed to like when people just announce season pass and then they're just like, yep, season pass, and then it's like, well,
gimme.
What is I know it's just like, so
Give me your money.
yeah, it's like at least with Destiny they were like they're getting your House of Wolves and your Dark Below thingies, and it's like you're getting these packs with stuff in them, but it's like I mean they did eventually release or tell you what, but it's like with other season passes it's kind of just like, yep, there's a season pass, so good luck with that. So I mean, if they're gonna do it, I feel like they should either just not announce it until like later on and alongside something they're already were like when they're actually releasing like the first bit of DLC, and there's like you can buy this pass with this, or just buy this DLC separately. So then that way, it feels less like I feel like people will feel less cheated because it'll seem more like DLC like how it was before this all this crap happened, and then as opposed to like. Now it just seems like, well, obviously they're taking stuff out of my game now because they're announcing the season pass before the game's even released. So obviously they're not including everything I should be getting with the game. So I feel like if they announce it after the fact and people don't know about it, then it's like, well, okay, this is clearly, additional content as opposed to stuff they stole from me and I own and should have kind of thing. Because, gamers are like so entitled and all that stuff. So it's like, but it's like, it's just, I just think the way they're doing it now is not good.
I think, yeah, they could call them expansions. I think they don't have to call it a season pass. That seems sort of ridiculous. Like if you call it an expansion and then say
that they're in.
Yeah, like if you call it an expansion and then just release parts of the expansion over 6 months, as long as you've made it clear that your sort of plan of release, then I don't see, you can call them anything. Just season pass means something else, I think, already.
Yeah.
And so that's confusing. Do you think it would be cool to have games that are just like Borderlands if there had been a season 2 of content?
That's what my hope is for. Well, depending on how it plays out, Destiny. So yeah. The thing is, like Destiny is kind of like we're kind of like too far over the bridge to go back because it's like story wise, I don't see it getting better. So I'm hopeful, but
It won't.
I'm cautiously optimistic about it. So.
Well, I mean, all that's going to be fixed when Destiny 2 comes out because now you don't have to worry about
once we abandon
the last
PS3.
Yeah, I was saying you don't have to worry about the last gen consoles holding them. Well, I hope that was their reason because if it wasn't, and it turns out that Destiny 2 is
they were
the same thing, or just like
good.
It's like well then you were just not doing a good job with
Wait,
this.
who made Halo? Was that you guys, or was that somebody else?
So I mean, it'll really be so. Yeah, Destiny 2 is really going to be like a thing for them. Kind of, I forgot the word I was going to use for that, but it's going to be that for them, or something like that. So, because then you'll really be able to tell. Because they're going to obviously have to leave the last gen consoles behind for it to work. So we will see if that is the case or not. Because I mean, eh, maybe the last gen was holding all of them back. Is why the season passes have been like so not great so far. Because they're like, well, we have to do it for both, and now we're doing we're trying to multitask, and we're not great at it, and so maybe once we're like full on into this generation, then maybe we'll see. But I still think they should just wait to announce stuff like that until after the game's already existing, kind of thing. So it's not like it seems less cheaty.
Yeah, so I think they should, besides waiting, they should be more upfront about what's going to be in it.
Yeah.
And not call them season passes anymore.
Because I'm kind of curious is like how planned out some of these seasons, like, because I mean, obviously, I mean, there are some, they probably do have like at least like the first idea of their DLC in mind when they do this, but I'm curious is like if they actually like plan out like, okay, we're gonna have the season pass, we're gonna do this many DLCs, and we're gonna have like the general idea kind of thing, because it's like if they really, because sometimes it just seems like they're just really ill planned or like poorly thought out, and it's just like they kind of had hopes that that the game was gonna last this long, and then they just kind of abandoned it because they were like, well, we want to work on new stuff just like you want new games, so we don't care anymore. And then so I'm just curious as to how far planned out some of these are when they do them, or is it kind of just like the whole like the tester thing where it's like, and there's also multiplayer kind of thing where it's just like we have the season pass because we're just hoping that we're going to actually continue supporting this game, but we don't know if we're actually going to or not. So I wonder.
Well, okay, so first of all, like that is our season pass discussion. If I see this written somewhere in the next week, I will know that someone listens to us. We'll just know. Like I've never seen anyone talk about how to fix season pass. I've only seen people call for no more season passes,
or just like no DLC period kind of thing.
Yeah. But so when this appears, so you better leave a comment. So we'll know that actually. Oh wow, there is people listening.
We will find you, and we have a particular skills.
Sort of almost moved. I'm hopeful for the Batman Arkham Knight one. I think because there's been no other next gen only game with a season pass that I can think of. I may be totally wrong. Well, no, I mean, other than like racing games, like Drive Club and Forza had them, but those are just like more tracks and more cars. So it's like, well, that's what else can you add in a racing game?
They can add a campaign.
A story-based game. This is the only game that I can think of that has a season pass that is next gen only. Because Far Cry was on both.
I think
Watch Dogs was
Games
Watch Dogs was next gen only too, right?
No, it was on PS3. 360.
Oh, really?
They had I think they had canceled it for other stuff that they had planned it for, and then just made it those two.
Yeah, I can't think of. Does Bloodborne have a season pass?
It does not, thankfully. Although they usually don't announce their DLC until way after, so it's like if it does, it probably won't be. Because Dark Souls 2 and 1 had DLC, but it was like long after the game had been out.
Oh wait, I guess Sunset Overdrive had DLC season pass. Although none of us have played it, so we don't know anything about those games.
So, yeah. Doesn't Gamer have it? Where's he when you need him?
It's funny, like, yeah, I know nothing about Xbox One games right now.
I'm sure there's not much to know.
Feels very strange to me, but
I'm not missing much.
I'm not too. Yeah, as far as like PS4, I can't think of any that aren't cross-platform that have a season pass. And it's like story stuff that's coming out. I could sort of understand why why the Harley Quinn thing was the way it was, because like you can't, back in the day, you can't get people to download 12 gigs or 8 gigs for an expansion, but now like I think that's something that they totally can do. So you can make really expansive sort of add-ons to your games.
Yeah, you could.
But if you're next gen, only if you're next gen only.
Hmm.
So,
So I mean, I guess that'll be the true test. Once we're like full on this gen, then it's just like
there's reason to be hopeful, or for this one in particular. I don't know about the future. Perhaps if people of influence are listening to us, it's like, hey, like we aren't just hating on Season Pass. We thought about, all right, you guys are not going to stop. So this is how you make it better. This is how you make it better.
Hopefully this generation just lasts long, so that way you don't have to deal with this again for a while. But it's just like I don't know. I always feel like each generation is getting like shorter and shorter, and it's like I'm getting concerned. So I don't know.
Pumped. And the toys as DLC thing, like that's a totally different thing. So we did not talk about that.
That's a whole nother can of worms.
Although the Disney one, it's because it's Disney. I'm more on board with that rather than it being the toy thing.
That's how drugs work. That's how.
Oh no, drugs. Do we want to do news now?
Of course.
Did you have news, or were you just like, you have no news?
Just the whatever that Destiny thing is that they talked about. I think that's like it.
Okay.
I'm sure there was other stuff.
Prison of the Elders.
Prison of Elders. It is what we thought it would be. Sort of. It's a horde mode. But like with a Destiny flavor. So it's not really a strike, and it's not really the parts where you have to defend your little, I forget what it's called, the bad hacker.
It's ghosts.
Ghosts, that's
There
right.
are waves of enemies.
Ghosts. Yeah, it's like there are waves of enemies, and it does things that you have in the raids where you're sort of either disabled a bit or enabled a bit, so it'd be easier or harder depending on if you're being buffed or debuffed. And it's longer than, like, horde mode is about pure survival, right?
Yeah.
Like you just kill as much stuff as you can and stay alive as long as you can. And this is more wave based, so like you can actually complete this, and instead of just being in one area and surviving as long as possible, I think you fight in 4 or 5 different areas, I think. In the example they showed, they fought in 5 different areas that are sort of connected to each other, and each one is themed off of one of the different enemy races in the base game. And then in addition to that, sometimes you'll have these objectives that you have to do, and those are kind of like the public event type things, except for the tank one. So you have to kill like the guy running to the checkpoint, and you have to stand in a circle until something happens. So yeah, horde mode with a Destiny twist. It actually seems like, well, they're not really the B team. Like my other group of friends, like we played a lot of Call of Duty Ghosts, Zombies before, and like the Alien mode. So it actually seems like a mode that we would enjoy playing, because unlike the raids, unlike the raids, you don't need 6 people. You just need the 3 of us. And then in addition to that, it's not always the same thing. So every time you play through, you're going to fight in different combinations of the rooms. Tekken, you saw, right?
I the thing I saw was this like very repetitive thing of not a lot of. It's basically like them just like spawning and dying on the same wave, so I didn't get to see
Oh, okay.
much of anything.
But like, so you were saying it's like Mad Moxie's,
Oh yeah, because basically
like
you
Thunderdrome or
you
whatever
get
it was
thrown
called.
into the arena, and it's like, survive, but then you have these objectives, and then there's also the modifiers. So yeah.
Yeah. So that is it's really similar. Hmm. Well, I guess when you put it that way, those we didn't really play that much, did we? We mostly ran around and did missions in Borderlands.
I played through Mad. Well,
Did you
I
play?
didn't play through all of them. I cleared like all of the arenas and then one of the super arenas in Mad Moxie.
Hmm.
But yeah, it felt very Mad Moxie. There's also like the giant ghost thing or whatever, and it talks to you, and it's like blah 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 blah. So it's like that could be Moxie.
So, well, so what do you think about it? Like, do you think it's a sort of like this is supposed to be a successor to raids, or not successor, but like on the level of doing raids? It's an end game thing, and they made it so that like the raids, every time you play through it, it's basically the same. Whereas this is supposed to be very different every single time,
I
or not very different, but like different every single time.
we'll see. I have my doubts. It doesn't seem like it could be that complex when it's just the Oh, I forgot I dropped from the call. But
Is it because we're talking Destiny?
I think the thing is like the further on it gets, is going to be like the harder it's going to be. But I have my doubts just because it seems like if you've been playing the game and you know what to expect and like the enemy weaknesses across the board, then you already have like a decent arsenal built up to like deal with any type of situation that you'll come across.
Like I sort of thought that too when I was watching them play. It's like, wow, they're not very good. Like,
So that's the thing. Is, like, I couldn't get a sense of like, are they just not good or is it really really hard?
yeah. But well, so the part that they got stuck on and just couldn't get past, like I could understand why that was happening though, because it was Arcburn, and they were fighting Boomer Knights and witches or wizards, and like if you've ever been in that situation where I think it's the summoning pits. You know, like when you're trying to open the first door and there's like the 5 wizards and they just have the rapid fire
Yeah.
arc burn, like that's what was destroying them. So I was like, okay, yeah, I can see
Though,
why
like,
they're stuck here.
That puts it as far as like it's not really hard. It's just the annoying stuff that happens in Destiny when that happens. It's just like here we go again.
Is it? Yeah, I mean, I guess if their strategy hadn't been, oh, we'll just run into the diffuse zone and hope that we don't die before it gets diffused. Maybe, but then there's a timer also, so they sort of had to do that. I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. I'm most excited actually for some of the stuff that they announced on different channels. So like the stream was only these 3 guys playing this thing for 2 hours, and it got pretty frustrating by the end because they died and they wiped so many times. But apparently there's a new strike. They're also adding a change where it was like, right now the weekly and the weekly nightfall are always the same strike, but after House of Wolves they're going to be different strikes every week. It's like, well, finally, like that makes so much sense. Obviously we're going to play both, and why did you make us play the same one 6 times if you have 3 characters 6 times every week? Yeah, that was the most exciting change I saw today. The Prison of Elders thing is like, well, I'm excited to see new gear, but we didn't get to see the end, so we don't know what happens at the end of Prisoner Elders. But yeah, it is kind of what we thought it would be. More remixing of the stuff that they already have in Destiny.
Yay.
Yay-ish?
PT is no longer listed on the PlayStation Store.
Yeah,
You can't even download it, I
it's
think.
totally gone. Even if it was in your library, you can no longer access it.
And luckily I downloaded it. Yes, like, yes. Before it disappears.
I thought about it, but I was like, I don't think I'm ever gonna play this, so never mind. Plus, the most fun I had was watching Gamer and Tekken play it on their streams. So I'll always have streams. I'll always have YouTube.
Well, that is until they decide to just deactivate it completely, and then you can't even access it.
I don't I don't know if they could do that. Maybe
They
they
might. They could just patch it in where it's like not playable or something.
could. Nobody knows what's going on with Konami. They're weird. I get it was a lot of sales stuff announced this week. Like EA is apparently doing really well because they're selling a lot of digital games. Activision is doing well because Hearthstone and DLC. So part of the reason why we think season pass is here to stay.
I was just thinking, Activision's gonna come out of the PlayStation stage at E3 and be like, "Guess what, guys? Season 2 pass or something, or another expansion pass." It's like that's all it's gonna be. It's like, oh yeah, here's another expansion pass. We're gonna tell you what it is, but it's gonna be like way
It's
more
like,
than the first expansion pass of like 4
go
things.
home, Activision, you're drunk. You don't want it.
We got some idea as to release schedules. So apparently Mirror's Edge is next year.
It's supposed to be early next year or something like that. I haven't played the first one.
Oh, we lost Choptical.
Oh no.
Wow, I'm having issues with this call for some reason.
We are. Because I got dropped before.
All right, well, besides Mirror's Edge, dot.
Is that the only game you were like excited about?
There's something else I was gonna say, but then I noticed Choptical is missing, so I was like, crap. I'm trying to find it again.
Oh no.
Oh, Power is getting a second season, so yay, and it's coming next year.
I haven't seen the first season, so I
I
can't even get
enjoyed
excited
it.
about that.
So I'm looking forward to it.
Stop enjoying it.
I'm not sure what the other stuff Choptical was gonna talk about. There's something where I guess EA is expecting to sell 9 to 10 million of Star Wars Battlefront, so we'll see.
Which one, the new one?
Yeah.
Oh.
It looks like the other game was Plants vs. Zombies coming next
Yeah,
year.
they said they have a new Need for Speed, and then there's supposed to be like a Plants vs. Zombies and stuff. But I mean, I don't play any of those series though, so I can't even get excited about that. I'm like, yay, I
You ever played a
guess.
Need for Speed game?
Not like recently. I think the last Need for Speed game I played was like, wait, did they have PlayStation versions of that game?
Yes, they
It's been
did.
a long time since I've played it. This is how long it's been. So yeah, I have not played in a while.
There was, yeah, because there's one on PS4 even.
Yeah, I haven't played any. It's like I've never been like a huge fan of those type of games anyway. So it's like I mean I played like Driver and stuff, but then it's kind of one of those things where I'm just like I'm not like a huge car guy, so racing games and stuff like that don't really like appeal to me. So I don't know. I do like Twisted Metal though. That's not the same thing. So there's that.
That is very much not the same thing.
So yeah.
Oh no, I think I know why my internet's having issues. I just saw a tweet that there's like power outages going on in my city.
Oh, that's not good.
That happened that one time we were recording. I lost power. So yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
And it was storm today too, so I'm guessing that's what caused it.
Try,
But,
try not to do that.
well, I have no control over that RPG.
You should try. You should try. But yeah, I mean, apparently some people aren't going to certain game conferences this year,
Oh
so
yeah, Sony
that's
said
been a thing too.
no Gamescom.
Because yeah, Sony's not doing that, and Sega's not going to be at E3, and then it's just like I don't know. Everybody's just like, yeah, we'll pick and choose when
I
and where we go.
disappear.
Ah,
Are you back, Tractical? Tractical.
oh no, we lost him again. No,
Well, how are you
poor
then?
K, poor
That was
K.
weird. That was super weird. He
He
popped back
came.
in.
He came back just to say he's
Yeah.
gone. Just get disconnected.
All right. Well,
Uh, classic.
guess we'll just sign off here because we're having technical issues. Everything in the episode anyway. So yeah, before my power goes out. Check us out, aimlesspodcast.com, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter,
Twitch.
MySpace, maybe Twitch.
I think MySpace is a thing, and I've never made us a
It totally is.
there, so
Are you back,
I'm
Tractical?
like, I don't think it's still a thing. I mean,
What else?
so and I don't think any of us have ever done a MySpace page for Aimless, so we're not there. That's like one
Well,
of the few.
we're somewhere on the internet. Just Google us.
But we're everywhere else.
Do you have anything to say before we sign off, RPG?
Nope.
Alrighty then. So yeah. Until you see or hear from us again, this is Aimless Babble Z, and we're now signing off.